our final inspirer. Who's ready? Who's ready? All right. Our next inspirer, Colette Smith, is a transplanted Canadian and an upcoming co-author of Women of Grit. She participated in the Moth Story Slam as well, and as well as the Story Project in Colorado Springs. She's a survivor of domestic abuse. Her focus is sharing her story in order to inspire others to overcome and to learn to live again. Please rise and please welcome with appreciation and love to the stage, otherwise known as Colette.
The sun shone through the large picture window and warmed the spot on the floor where I played with my brother and my sister. The smell of breakfast wafted in from the kitchen, and my tummy started to rumble. I was hungry. Suddenly, yelling comes from the kitchen. "Shut up, woman! Don't make me hurt you!" I started to tremble as I crept up to the doorway. I had been through this before. My siblings started to cry. Shh. As I peered through the doorway, Daddy grabbed Mommy by the head and started slamming her head into the old yellow from my countertop. She caught my eye and she screamed, "Run!" I turned around, I scooped up my siblings, and I ran. This is one of the first vivid memories of my childhood. I was 5. My biological father, one Michael Lionel Levesque, was an addict. My mom, Karen, she did her best to hold it all together and protect her children. Like any family, we had good days, we had bad days. We even had really great days. One of my favorite memories was when Daddy was home again, because he was sober again. We spent the day playing fort. You know where you take blankets and you pile it over the backs of furniture? And you put more blankets inside and pillows and lots of toys. Don't forget the toys. We spent that day playing in the fort, singing songs, and playing games with Daddy. It was glorious. The next morning, we crept out of our bedroom. We shared a room. And we spied Daddy in the bathroom shaving. He looked hilarious with all that goop on his face. So we did what any normal children do. We snuck up on him and we yelled, "Mad dog, mad dog." And the game of chase was on. I swear to you, that game, it lasted for hours. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the daddy I loved. That's the daddy I needed. How do you take that, all those bits and pieces, and carry on? I spent most of my childhood and early adulthood worried, scared that Mike would show up dead in a ditch somewhere and we wouldn't know. Thankfully, when I was in my 30s, he did show up. in a hospital in Vancouver, Canada. It wasn't good. There was not much hope. And I found myself on a plane traveling from Denver all the way to Vancouver. My brother and sister and I were scared to see him again. We didn't know what to expect after all of this time. I walked into his room. I didn't even recognize him. He was this tiny little man. He had no hair, no teeth. He was so old looking. He was a small visage of that giant, scary man from my childhood. We stood around, and my sister Carolyn, she said, "We have to tell him that we love him, even if it's hard. This could be our last chance." Thankfully, he did recover. And he used his time to reconnect with his children, to know his grandchildren, to know my children, sober. In fact, he credited us with saving his life just by being there. How many of you look around and you still see those bits and pieces shattered all around you? You don't know what to do with them. You don't know how to move forward. Do you want to know my secret? Who wants to know my secret?
I want to know.
Forgiveness. My relationship with Mike was never what I wanted. It wasn't even close. But what it taught me was that through forgiveness, you can pick up those bits and pieces, you can put them back together, and build them into something even stronger, even more beautiful. My challenge for each and every one of you, if you're struggling, and Lord knows we all struggle, if you come across somebody who's struggling, please bend over, pick up the bits and pieces, hold them carefully until it's time to put them back together again.